Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman, and we are coming to you from our studios in the Capital Region International Airport. But we're not flying out on you. We're staying in town. We're going to go across town, actually. We've got Tim Salisbury. He's a regional president, Mid-Michigan Group with PNC Financial Services Group, PNC Bank, and a whole lot of other things. At this PNC Bank, I don't think you realize how far stretched out it is over these United States. Tim, welcome. It's always good to have you here and at the top of the holiday seasons, of course.
Yeah, thanks, Chris, and appreciate you always having me on.
Hey, listen, how has 2023 been for PNC and their clients in particular?
Surprisingly, it's actually seems like Mid-Michigan companies are doing quite well, right? We've had a lot of headwinds thrown at us, and people have navigated those pretty well. I continue to see depth in lots of different industries. Again, seems like things are maybe better than the Fed wants them to be yet.
It's kind of interesting because I was going to talk to you about interest rates and their effects, but it seems to me that interest rates are, they're a bit of in the way, but they're not stopping a lot of projects from being released these days.
Yeah, as you know, over the last 18 months, they've moved up dramatically. And, I've kind of seen on the commercial front, it maybe put people on pause. But right now, I would say like our credit pipeline is probably as strong as I've seen it for the last couple of years. So to your point, people have adjusted. I don't know, maybe they're expecting rates will start coming down next year. Some of the forecasting is. So it's time to start planning and moving forward now as opposed to waiting. But we'll see what 24 brings us.
I'm thinking about big projects who might be borrowing now and saying, hey, in 12 months, we'll refinance. It won't cost us that much for the money.
Right. And as you know, it takes a long time to plan and execute on a project. So you could be starting it today and you're not going to be driving anything out of it until maybe 25.
All right, so listen, so we got the holiday seasons on. That brings a lot of joy to everybody's heart, makes us all feel good about the seasons. Also, some reason to be a little worried about it. There's some scam opportunities. Are you seeing much of that at the bank?
It's so sad, Chris. It's a great question because we've seen increasing fraud for as long as I can remember now. It seems like it always spikes more in the fourth quarters. You go into the holidays. Seems like it spikes more as the economy gets more uncertain. Obviously, we have both of those kind of at play right now. So there is lots of opportunity for people to get taken advantage of. I can maybe throw out a few suggestions that people can maybe think about to be aware, right? That's the biggest thing, is just kind of being aware of what you're doing. There's no free lunch, right? So when the deal looks too good to be true, it probably is. You want to be careful with that. This one's really sad, is the charity scams, right? When you click on links and give to some nonprofit, whatever that happens to be, make sure you know where it's going. The Federal Trade Commission does have a pretty good website out there. It's www.give.org. That's really their consumer advice website. You can kind of check on things before you do it. Pay with credit card, is better than not. Check and make sure the donation you give is the donation that they are taking, that you didn't accidentally sign up for a reoccurring every month donation. Lots of stuff like that. You gotta be careful with gift cards. If you buy them from someplace you don't know or unattended stands, you can find problems there. It's everything. It's, the travel scams, like your crazy uncle is stranded in Mexico and you need to wire him some money, right? We still see that stuff.
I can't believe it. The guy in Rwanda, I'm still trying to bail him out.
Right.
It's pretty great. Hey, Tim, what is your projection? How do you see the economy in 24?
It's going to slow, right? And I guess the $1 million question is it going to actually hit into recession or not? A lot of split opinions on that. I don't know that it matters that much, right? Because if we have 0.5% growth or 1% growth or 0.5% decline, I don't think that's felt that significantly. PNC is still forecasting a better chance of a mild recession midway through 24 than not, like maybe 60-40. But again, I don't think it's going to change. It's going to be fairly shallow and fairly quick if we do in fact have one. So actually, the Fed has probably done a pretty good job of navigating this inflation problem and bringing those rates up and constricting the monetary policy has done what they're looking for. It's kind of slowed the economy down, and it seems to be slowing, at a reasonable pace.
It certainly has. Tim, we've got about a half minute left. Are you guys in any way affected by one of the major problems facing business, and that's talent?
Yeah, so talent, we seem to have good access to talent ourselves. We're doing well. If I look at through our clients' lens, I'm here more and more often now. Maybe they don't have as many bodies as they want, but they're doing way better than they were a year ago or 2 years ago, right? A lot of those jobs are starting to get filled in that talent is more available and a higher quality than what they were finding, in the months and in first couple of years after COVID hit.
It's interesting you say that because it just was replaced by inflation, primarily wage inflation, as the number one problem facing business these days. Tim Salisbury, Regional President, Mid-Michigan Region, PNC Bank. Thanks so much for being with us, my friend. Keep up the good work and happy holidays.
Thanks, Chris. Happy holidays to you and your listeners.
Appreciate it. You've been watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman.